that. In the House, I got to be honest, it's close. Republicans need to get out there and vote district by district. We're looking at continuing to put money into these key districts to put them over the top. But it's going to be close. I think that this last few weeks has really helped galvanize the enthusiasm among key districts as we head into this. Right. One really interesting point that's not being talked about, if you look at a lot of the key races in the House side, a lot of them are in the Midwest, in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, places that have benefited from the president's renegotiation of NAFTA, now the U.S., Mexico, Canada agreement. Those policies where people are, whether it's dairy farmers, auto workers, people who understand the impact of trade and fair trade, understand what the president did is going to help them. That's going to benefit a lot of those key Midwest races, whether they're agriculture-based or manufacturing-based. The president's accomplishments on those fronts in particular are going to benefit them heading into this key.
And don't be surprised if North Carolina, also the floods, these people have historic losses, how the president's going to react there, getting them funds. And now with a hurricane about to hit Florida, which is so in the balance for the governorship as well as the Senate seat, performance will matter there on both counts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the #1 function of government, is to protect and care for its people, especially in times of tragedy. And so while we pray for these folks as they head into these key moments, both the victims of the recent storms and the ones that are about to hit, how they perform at both the state and federal level will be important.
Sure. And Janice is going to give us an update on the storm here in about 2 minutes. Sean Spicer, thank you very much for joining us today from our nation's capital. All right.
Yeah, we tease Janice well, but it's not about Janice now. It's really about Jillian.
Not yet. One step at a time. First news.
Good morning. Okay, let's talk about Chicago, because outgoing Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel firing back at President Trump over his call for police to reduce violence.
Strongly consider stop and frisk. It works, and it was meant for problems like Chicago.
While the head of Chicago's police union is praising the president, the liberal mayor is rejecting the advice.
The failed policies he's talking about have no place for a city that's working together.
More than 2,300 people have been shot in Chicago so far this year. Kim Jong-un wants Pope Francis to visit North Korea. South Korea's presidential office says the dictator would welcome the Pope with open arms. South Korean President Moon Jae-in will deliver the invitation to the Vatican next week. North Korea is an atheist nation and strictly controls religious activity. No pope has ever been there. John Mayer going on a rant about the need for a new male contract. Video obtained by TMZ showing the singer at a show in Baltimore saying it's time to end the idea of the alpha male. Watch this.
You do not possess the universal ability to have any woman that you see. I'm just going on record as revealing the trauma of men feeling like they've fallen short of a alpha male contract that nobody can live up to.
Well, he goes on to say men should focus on respect and sensitivity instead. Let's look at your headlines.
So much to learn from John Mayer, too. I mean, there's a lot there. I wish I had a pen.
Here you go.
Thanks, Jillian.
Here you go, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Now it's time to take a look at Janice, who is tracking Hurricane Michael.
Yeah, we're getting a new advisory out in just moments, and we'll make sure everyone knows what the latest is. But I can tell you from the satellite presentation, this is a strengthening storm. We've got a lot of warm water ahead of it and not a lot in the atmosphere to tear this storm apart, and it's got to crash into someplace. It's going to be the Florida Panhandle tomorrow. So not a lot of time here. Here's the latest as of 5 a.m. New advisory coming out in just minutes. Cat 1, 96 miles per hour will make it a Category 2, and I'll bet that hurricane hunters have certainly seen that the pressure is dropping and the storm is strengthening. Advisories, hurricane warnings in the red. I also want to point out we have tropical storm watches that stretch all the way up to South Carolina. So the Carolinas are going to feel the impacts of this storm well inland as it eventually makes landfall. Here's the track. We'll get new coordinates again around 8 a.m. But this is going to be a major hurricane making landfall across the Florida Panhandle. The worst side of the storm is the east side of the storm. So the worst of the storm surge, the worst of the rain. We are going to see the potential for tornadoes as well. Upwards of 12-foot storm surge.
Whoa.
And that is going to be catastrophic, eventually moving off the East Coast. But again, the Carolinas from Florence, they're going to see the impacts of this as well. But the Florida Panhandle hasn't seen a storm like this in over a decade. So people need to be listening to their local officials.
Batten down the hatches. All right. Yep. Janice, thank you.
Sorry for those folks on the coast, but also for the folks that were flooded by Florence. That water still exists.
I know.
Still there.
And the storm surge, 12 feet, that is crazy. Meanwhile, straight ahead, anti-Kavanaugh protesters have stormed Washington for weeks now, confronting lawmakers up close. Our next guest has been following the money trail of the resistance, and she knows where it leads. That's next.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Sports Update is brought to you by the new 2019 Ford Edge, featuring new Ford Copilot 360 technology.
Feeling unsure? What if you had some help? Introducing the new 2019 Ford Edge with the confidence of Ford Copilot 360 technology, the most available driver assist technology in its class. The new 2019 Ford Edge.
Guys, it's your time to lose weight, to get healthy, to get results. Introducing Nutrisystem for Men.
The food was delicious. I didn't have to count, measure, or weigh anything. I was eating pasta, pizza, bagels.
Lose up to 18 pounds and 8 inches overall your first month.
It's flexible. I can even eat out with family and friends. My dad is so proud of me now. You eat the food and you lose the weight.
Order your 28-day plan and save 40% off every program. Plus, get shakes free.
Fries for $3.16, please. Thank you.
David, what's going on?
Oh, hey.
That's it?
Yeah. Everybody, 2 seconds.
Dear Sebastian, after careful consideration of your application, it is with great pleasure that we offer our congratulations on your acceptance.
Through the Tuition Assistance Program, every day, McDonald's helps more people go to college. It's part of our commitment to being America's best first job.
Meeting people is my life. I had to be careful how wide I would open my mouth because I was embarrassed to show my teeth. It was time to do something for myself that was going to be permanent.
The Clear Choice one-day approach is making dental implants a reality for people all over the country who suffer from missing or failing teeth.
I felt like I was the most important person on earth to them.
Bill came in, bad teeth, discomfort, pain. We needed to get him into a smile that he felt confident in. We have expertise that you might not find anywhere else, all in one location.
The next day, I had a new smile. Couldn't wait to show some folks. It's amazing what a smile can do for a person.
Discover why this is so much more than another dental procedure. It's a true life changer. With over 30,000 new smiles and counting, we're lifting spirits and confidence all over America. Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
I'm eating corn on the cob. I had the best smile I'd ever had in my life.
Call Clear Choice today.
Merge? With who?
A behavioral health practice.
What is so wrong with just being a hospital?
All those empty beds, they aren't helping anyone. Integrated care means more services, better services.
This is a huge need, for this population especially.
But do you know how involved a merger will be?
We do, which is why we're bringing in BDO.
People who know BDO.
In the lead up to Justice Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation into the Supreme Court, protesters stormed the Capitol. Our next guest has been following the money behind the resistance and took a closer look at the funding behind some of the protests from this weekend. Asra Nomani joins us right now from our nation's capital with more. So, Asra, you know, the president has referred to these people, some of them, as being paid. Were they?
Well, on the onset, because people have sent me lots of messages that they're waiting for their check. A lot of people, sincere people are protesting, but I followed the money for the last 2 years, ever since #resistance emerged the day after President Trump was elected.
Okay.
And the money leads us back to, not a surprise I know to a lot of people, but George Soros and his philanthropy empire. it's not the individual protesters that are getting the money, but it is the organizations that are running these protests. So with the Women's March, I've been able to establish that at least 80 of those organizations have been grantees of the Open Society Foundation's philanthropy network, which internally they call the House of Soros. And then in this latest action called Stop Kavanaugh, End Kavanaugh, it was at least 20 companies, and we're not, or 20 organizations. I said companies accidentally, but what I know we need to do when we follow the money is look at these enterprises as companies. They have 1099s, which is the filing with the IRS for nonprofits, and many of them are also lobbying organizations, so they're paid lobbyists also. And just hours ago, I was able to give you this breaking news, which is I was able to establish the name of the organization, the company, professional protest company, named DC Action Lab. And they are the ones who were directing the protesters to go onto the stairs of the Capitol. And they did this famous
So they were like
protest.
the producer.
Exactly, and they were the ones that produced the demonstration, the event, but also the Handmaidens protest, where these women dressed in costumes with bonnets, and they went to the hearings also, and they did all these protests. So what we have is a very well orchestrated enterprise.
Indeed, but Asra, you know, the average person watching at home, they look in and they see the nightly news and they think, wow, look at all these people who are involved and look how professional it is. And in some cases we know why, but it does shape public opinion, and it has been effective.
You know, we're communications professionals, and we have to acknowledge that this is propaganda. I mean, this is messaging. They're very skilled at it. I admire it, actually. I thought the handmaiden protest symbol was a very clever one. But, you know, with all enterprises, we have to go beyond the headlines. We have to go beyond these images and see who's the money behind it. Some of these leaders, like the woman who was in the elevator yelling at Senator Flake, she gets a six-figure salary, $150,000 plus, which I know a lot of your viewers would love to be getting for, you know, harassing folks all day long. And so everybody has a right to do this, but it's important for us to know what is happening and who is behind the money.
And now we know there is some money behind some of the protesters. All right, Asra Nomani, thank you very much for joining us live today. Interesting stuff. Good reporting.
Thank you.
All right, 10 minutes before the top of the hour, Columbus Day canceled in Columbus, Ohio. The city says they'll celebrate Veterans Day instead. Was that just an excuse to go PC? We're going to talk to one vet who lives in Columbus next. And President Trump takes on the war on police and calls out the media.
I don't think you understand one thing, how much our country loves you and the job you do. You don't hear it from them. They don't tell you.
When you have pain, you want relief. Fast. Only new Thermacare Ultra Pain Relieving Cream has 4 active ingredients to fight pain 4 different ways. Get relief fast with new Thermacare Ultra Pain Relieving Cream.
At Athene, we think it's time for the financial world to stop acting the same old way. You need a partner that is willing to break free from conventional thinking. We are a different kind of financial company. We are Athene, and we are driven to do more.
I get it all the time. Have you lost weight? Of course I have. Ever since I started renting from National. Because National lets me lose the weight at the counter and choose any car in the aisle. And I don't wait when I return, thanks to Drop and Go. At National, I can lose the weight and keep it off.
Looking good, Patrick!
I know. Go National. Go like a pro.
Judging the midterms. Will Kavanaugh's confirmation kick off a red wave? Inside the political impact of the High Court's newest justice on Tucker Carlson tonight.
For those who peer into rock pools and gaze up at starry skies and seek out places with strange names and curious histories and quietly ponder the vastness before them, asking why, where, and how. This is Curiosity Stream, where you can stream incredible documentaries from the world's best filmmakers on demand and on any device anywhere in the world. Exclusive programs updated weekly that explore the big questions in science, technology, history, and nature that reward your curiosity and feed your brilliant, inquisitive mind. Monthly subscriptions start at just $2.99 a month. Long live the curious. Start your free trial today at curiositystream.com.
How do you feel when someone is looking over your shoulder? Not all snoopers can be seen. Cyber criminals can steal your sensitive information. Hackers can intercept your data on public Wi-Fi. But not with the NordVPN app. It helps protect your privacy by encrypting your online data, and it's so easy to use. NordVPN, your shield from online snoopers. Download and enjoy trusted internet security and privacy.
For life's aches and pains, Tommy's got your back. Tommy Copper's all-new lower back support bottoms for men and women deliver comfortable core compression to your hips, quads, and lower back for the ultimate support, recovery, and relief.
The lumbar core support in the Tommy Copper apparel can help to restore the curve in the back. A simple adjustment just like that can help reduce lower back pain throughout the day.
Visit TommyCopper.com to see all the ways we can help relieve your pain. Go now and save 25%. Tommy's got your back.
Well, New York City held its annual Columbus Day Parade on Monday. Columbus, Ohio, the city named for the famous explorer, chose not to celebrate him.
The city's mayor claiming the move had nothing to do with the national movement to abolish the holiday, saying they simply didn't have the budget to observe Columbus and Veterans Day. But was that an excuse, a PC excuse?
Well, Joseph Contino, he joins us now. He is a pilot in the U.S. Air Force Reserves and a board member for the Columbus Italian Festival in Columbus, Ohio. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Joseph,
how you doing?
We're great. Thank you. Tell us what happened to your organization.
So, for the past 39 years, we've had our Columbus Italian Festival, and we had participation from the city. We didn't find out about the holiday decision until the day of the event, which was just this past Friday. But the event went fine, festival went forward, but we have an event on Monday, yesterday, a wreath-laying ceremony at the statue of Christopher Columbus that was donated to the city by Genoa, Italy in 1955 that the city did not participate in. Again, let's not seek a Republican answer or a Democratic answer, but the right answer, I believe, is what JFK said.
Right.
We've been working on this for about 23 years as far as the indigenous peoples thing. And we've been reaching out to local Native American and indigenous people organizations. If you asked our opinion, we want a combined event. And we don't understand why the mayor of Columbus wouldn't want a combined event that told the story of both sides. I mean, wouldn't that make the most sense?
It would, but it's now in fashion not to like Columbus. I suggest somebody read about Columbus. Far from perfect, but he was a person of his generation. He changed the world. It was described as Columbus is like what we did with landing on the moon, only it was more dangerous.
Absolutely. Brian, you can thank Dr. Howard Zinn for that. Since his book came out, A People's History of the United States, self-loathing of this country and Western civilization has become in vogue. Christopher Columbus was originally put on a pedestal long ago by Washington Irving. Now, we all know that halo that was over his head was really a narrative for the new country of the United States, right? Yeah. To sell its independence from Britain. But since you know the whole story, I think the Arawak of the Hispaniola island would have a very different opinion of Spaniards.
He also spread Christianity. That was his main mission. Thanks so much.
Joseph, yes or no, real quickly, because we're out of time. Yes or no, do you think it was a budget issue, really?
No.
Okay.
It's a political issue.
Thank you so much for being with us. Hopefully things will change.
Fox News alert. I wish I wasn't saying this. Hurricane Michael going from a Category 1 hurricane to a 2. What it means for everyone in its path. Look, see if you recognize your state.
These books are not bestsellers, but each tells a financial story, and one is about you. bankers and lenders are reading and judging it, whether good or not so good. Shouldn't you read it too? Now, for the first time, you can, free. See how your story is being told with your free Experian financial profile. Only at Experian.com/profile.
I wanted more from my COPD medicine. That's why I've got the power of 1, 2, 3 medicines in Trelegy. The only FDA-approved 3-in-1 COPD treatment.
Trelegy, the power of 1, 2, 3. Trelegy, 1, 2, 3. Trelegy.
With Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3, I'm breathing better. Trelegy works 3 ways: to open airways, keep them open, and reduce inflammation for 24 hours of better breathing.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Trelegy is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Think your COPD medicine is doing enough? Maybe you should think again. Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3.
Trelegy, 1, 2, 3.
Save at Trelegy.com.
Promote what makes your business great with Vistaprint. Whether it's a business card, a banner, or a postcard, we have the paper stocks, sizes, and design options to create marketing that's right for your business. Give it a try with 500 standard business cards starting at just $9.99 when you use code VP500 at Vistaprint.com.
This flu season, protect yourself. And your sister-in-laws, tennis partners, chatty co-workers, youngest daughters, entire judo class. One shot can make a world of difference. Walgreens specially trained pharmacists know exactly which flu shot is right for you. Protecting the world, over 60 million flu shots and counting, starts with protecting yours today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
Why is Old Dominion #1 in customer satisfaction? Maybe it's OD's over 99% on-time rate, or our decades of supply chain experience that support the dynamic digital marketplace. Or because when we promise something, we keep our promise. The reason OD is #1 in customer satisfaction is our people, who never stop working to make your shipping easier. Old Dominion, helping the world keep promises.
I was not appointed to serve one party or one interest, but to serve one nation.
I think this is, in many ways, a crushing defeat for women and women's rights.
The assaults on Kavanaugh are going to continue, and they will become, as they already are, assaults on the court and rulings itself.
A couple of weeks ago, CNN put out a poll, and the president was down to 36%. It's now up. It's now at 41%.
This last few weeks has really helped galvanize the enthusiasm.
We expect this to be a Category 3, a major hurricane when it makes landfall sometime tomorrow.
If you're under an evacuation order, leave, don't wait.
My administration will always honor, cherish, and support the men and women in blue.
Every law enforcement officer across this country knows this president has your back like no other president ever has.
Drew Brees breaking an NFL record with a huge play.
Well, he eventually completes it, but let's focus on this.
A Fox News alert just moments ago, Hurricane Michael strengthening to a Category 2 hurricane with 100-mile-per-hour winds. Evacuations are underway down in Florida as that storm is barreling toward the Panhandle.
Hurricane Michael pounding Cuba overnight. Officials warning of storm surge and flooding.
Hurricane Michael is a monstrous storm, could bring total devastation to parts of our state, especially in the Panhandle. There's no excuse. You've got to keep your family safe.
Bridge tolls now suspended. People are racing to get out of town. Janice Tina is following Michael's track. Janice, I just saw everyone in Tallahassee, just the highways were packed yesterday.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of lead-up time on this, so now is the time. It's crucial that you pay close attention to your local forecasts and your local officials. We are going to see a landfall of this hurricane probably a major hurricane tomorrow afternoon. It's looking more like tomorrow evening. The exact timing still to be determined, but we're expecting a strengthening storm as it makes landfall. The right side of the storm is going to bring the worst of the storm surge, the worst of the winds, the worst of the rain. That's not to say that the west side of the storm isn't going to feel the effects, and inland as well. We have tropical storm watches in effect for parts as far north as South Carolina. So here's the latest track making landfall. We think sometime in the afternoon towards the evening hours, panhandle of Florida here, and then up towards Georgia and the Carolinas, still as a tropical storm. So areas that were inundated by rainfall with Florence are going to get more rain in the forecast. The reason why we think this is going to strengthen is the water ahead of it is like a hot tub. So we've got a lot of warm water ahead of it and nothing really to tear it apart. So it's going to remain intact. It's going to strengthen. A major hurricane has not hit this area of Florida in over a decade. It was 2005. So folks, you need to, take all the precautions right now. The time is running out.
Absolutely. Get in the car and go out on 30A and get out of town.
Yeah.
It's heading for you. All right, JD, thank you very much.
Not worth staying around. Thank you so much, Janice.
All right. Meanwhile, it is a Fox News alert. Today is Brett Kavanaugh's first day where he's actually a justice on the Supreme Court of the United States. And you saw him last night here on the Fox News channel as he was administered in a ceremonial way the oath of office. And while the president was political, he was non-political. He did say, however, that the confirmation was contentious and emotional. That is over, and he takes the office with gratitude and no bitterness.
Right. Let's listen to what he said yesterday, and then we'll chit-chat about it. Watch.
The Supreme Court is an institution of law. It is not a partisan or political institution. The justices do not sit on opposite sides of an aisle. We do not caucus in separate rooms. The Supreme Court is a team of 9, and I will always be a team player on the team of 9. I was not appointed to serve one party or one interest, but to serve one nation. Every litigant in the Supreme Court can be assured that I will listen to their arguments with respect and an open mind.
The United States was saying, yeah, that's right, Brett Kavanaugh's now on the bench, but I'm not going to drop the ball now. I remember what it took to get him here, and I remember how the party's fortunes on the midterms might have turned because of that. If you look at Democrats and Republicans, they're typically polarized. What I find most fascinating is independents were most upset about the treatment of Judge Kavanaugh. Right. And I'm wondering, if you're trying to win an election, does that matter? And does it matter that a lot of people's images of Democrats is pounding on Senate doors and screaming at senators in elevators? Could that be a negative to Democrats who are less than liberal or less than radical? That's why the president was so wise yesterday, saying, hey, Democrats, this is not the Democratic Party that I recognize. Remember, the president was a Democrat for a while. Mm-hmm. So he could easily do what Reagan did and get the Reagan Democrats to his side.
What I thought yesterday when I was watching that, I thought, this guy, he worked for President Bush. He loves the Bush family. They've come out and said he's a wonderful guy. You see that in that soundbite when he was just saying, I'm going to be fair, I'm going to follow the law. And I think, he was always grateful to President Trump, for nominating him. But yesterday, after all that his family has been through, and the president apologized, and we're about to play that, apologized to his family and to his wife and to his kids, he looked at the president with tears in his eyes and he said, I am so grateful for your unwavering support. He said, Mr. President, thank you for everything. And he also looked at Justice Kennedy. He said in this very room, he was nominated and he was sworn in by President Reagan. But the Justice Kavanaugh, I just felt like he was so grateful to the president for sticking by him, because the president never said, right. He never wavered. He didn't, just as Justice said. But here is the president of the United States, President Trump, apologizing to Brett Kavanaugh and to his family for everything they've been through.
On behalf of our nation, I want to apologize to Brett and the entire Kavanaugh family for the terrible pain and suffering you have been forced to endure. Those who step forward to serve our country deserve a fair and dignified evaluation, not a campaign of political and personal destruction based on lies and deception. What happened to the Kavanaugh family violates every notion of fairness, decency, and due process. A man or a woman must always be presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. You, sir, under historic scrutiny, were proven innocent.
And so there you've got the President of the United States trying to put what happened over the last couple of weeks behind the country. The big question is, how does the country view the Supreme Court going forward? Gallup just came out with a new poll, and they looked year over year about how happy you are with the way the government is being operated and governed. And take a look at the top line. In 2017, a year ago, 28% of the people in the United States were happy with how things were governed. You fast forward to today, it's up 10%, up to 38%. But then you look at Republicans and the leaners, and a year ago, 47% say they were satisfied with how the government is being governed. But now it is at 72%. It has gone up 25 points. That's the highest since 2005.
I think Republicans have rallied. The party was so split, but I think that's what we've seen over the last few weeks. I think it's really brought the party together. Mitch McConnell got a standing ovation yesterday.
Right, I think a couple of things. Number one, Susan Collins, some of the ramifications of the vote. Susan Collins might get a run against her from Susan Rice over in Maine. And Senator McCaskey, who voted against Kavanaugh, is going to be sanctioned by the GOP, perhaps of Alaska. And then you have the distance growing between Marsha Blackburn and Phil Bredesen, now at 8 points, when she made it clear Kavanaugh is good enough for me, and Bredesen said absolutely not. And in West Virginia, Joe Manchin had about an 8-point lead, but a lot of Democrats, as Steve was saying, was going to stay home or not vote for him because he made the decision, and after doing his research, that this guy is fine for the position.
He was in a tough position because he's in a state where they love President Trump. Marsha Blackburn, you said she got a bump in the polls?
8 points now. She has an 8-point lead. She was trailing by 1 or 2 points for a while.
Well, that was before Taylor Swift got into the politics. Charlie Hurt sat down with Brian about 2 hours ago and took a look at the Kavanaugh confirmation and the Republican successes and sees things this way.
Nothing pleases Republicans more than putting a conservative jurist who understands the boundaries of the judiciary, putting somebody like Brett Kavanaugh on the high court. But I would argue it's so much more than that. It's you've got an economy humming at over 4%. You've got the lowest unemployment in decades. You have pictures of a wall being built on the southern border. All those things put together means Republicans they're not tired of winning, it turns out.
We've heard that before. The big question is, will it galvanize Republicans to go and vote 1 month from today? Will it galvanize Democrats to do the same?
Right. I think the best thing, believe it or not, for the president, if he wants to be successful in the midterms, is that new NAFTA deal that he cut. That's going to affect all the people in those districts, in those countries, in those states that voted for him. It's helping farmers. It's helping manufacturers.
Right. What about unemployment?
And it's helping workers.
Low unemployment, 3.7%. That's incredible.
And the White House would say both those things are promises kept. And that will be the message going into the midterms. Meanwhile, we've got a lot of news with Jillian, who joins us live.
That's right. Good Tuesday morning, starting with a Fox News alert. And the European Union now backing the U.S. effort, demanding to know what happened to a missing Washington Post contributor. Turkey will search the Saudi consulate in Istanbul after Jamal Khashoggi went missing 1 week ago. The paper releasing this picture overnight of him walking into the consulate. The Post reports a 15-member Saudi Arabian team attacked him in a pre-planned murder. The journalist is a known critic of Saudi leadership. The driver behind the wheel of a limo that crashed and killed 20 people in upstate New York had a criminal past. The New York Post reports Scott Lasinakia was busted for drugs twice. He also didn't have a proper license, and the limo failed inspection just last month. We also know the limo's owner was an FBI informant in 2 terror stings. Shahed Hussein helped take down radical Muslims after being convicted of federal fraud charges. According to the Daily Mail, he came to the U.S. from Pakistan, where he was accused of murder. President Trump is headed to the Hawkeye State today. He's expected to unveil a new plan to allow more ethanol in gas in front of a crowd in Council Bluffs, Iowa. It's the first of 4 Make America Great Again rallies this week. We will cover it live on the Fox News channel tonight. Also headed to Iowa, that man right there, our own Todd Pyro. He will be live from a diner tomorrow morning to have breakfast with friends. And one baby making the trip of a lifetime at just 5 months old. Harper Yeats is on the verge of being the youngest person to visit all 50 U.S. states. She's been on a 4-month road trip with her parents. The Australian family is expected to reach Vermont next week for their 50th and final stop. Little Harper's journey being shared on Instagram with a picture from each state line. It's a shame she won't remember it.
Yeah, not as she's got the pictures.
I know.
That's right. That's so cool.
I know.
Before she starts school, the parents have time to do this.
Why
Hope they
not?
have a good car seat.
Right, absolutely.
That's really cute.
Quite a vacation. All right, Jillian, thank you.
Yep.
Meanwhile, breaking news out of Washington, D.C., Kanye West is going to the White House. We've got the new statement from the administration regarding that coming up.
Plus, Florida's Governor Rick Scott holding a press conference on Hurricane Matthew. We will be monitoring it, and we're going to bring you the latest developments as that Category 2 storm closes in.
Moving. That's harder now because of psoriatic arthritis, but you're still moved by moments like this. Don't let psoriatic arthritis take them away. Taltz reduces joint pain and stiffness and helps stop the progression of joint damage. For people with moderate to severe psoriasis, 90% saw significant improvement. Taltz even gives you a chance at completely clear skin. Don't use if you're allergic to Taltz. Before starting, you should be checked for tuberculosis. Taltz may increase risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, symptoms, or received a vaccine or plan to. Inflammatory bowel disease can happen with Taltz, including worsening of symptoms. Serious allergic reactions can occur. For all the things that move you, ask your doctor about Taltz.
Now at Arby's, you can get 30 euros for $90. Or for those who aren't trying to cater a Greek family reunion, they're 2 for $6.
Arby's, we have the meats.
For sandwiches. Millions of people across the country are losing weight and improving their health. What do we all have in common? Nutrisystem.
Introducing Turbo 13 from Nutrisystem. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guaranteed.
No matter how much weight you want to lose, Nutrisystem can help you reach your goal.
I'm living healthier and happier now. It was easy to follow.
I'm Dean. I lost 245 pounds on Nutrisystem.
It's your favorite foods made healthier.
No counting, no measuring, no weigh-ins.
Order now and save 40% off every program. That's 40% off breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and snacks. Act now and get this limited time savings on every program. Plus, get 1 week of delicious turbo shakes to help shrink your belly free.
Bye-bye, belly fat. Join the millions who have lost weight and improved their health. Call or go online right now.
Go online or call 877-314-THIN and get shakes free plus 40% off every program.
Real people, steel people. They want real power, real options, and real value. This fall, get a real solution. Get a Steel.
I asked Markham.
I asked Markham.
Ask Markham.
Ever wonder where the people with all the answers get all the answers? Ask Markham, accountants and advisors.
Shop online at Chewy.com.
With Chewy.com, I know I'm getting an amazing deal on my pet's food.
At Chewy.com, you'll always find low prices on your favorite brands. Plus, you get fast, free shipping.
I just found my dog's food for less than what I buy it in the store.
Start saving today at Chewy.com.
A better SUV dares to ask why not. Like, why not versatile? Master of all seasons, all the prizes kind of versatile. Why not turn up the comfort? First class comfort. Why not make it rugged?
Real rugged.
But also smart. And of course, reliable. Friend picking you up at midnight, reliable. And why not end with a big statement? Honda, awarded Best SUV Brand for 2018.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7. Channel 115.
Well, some key senators on the Kavanaugh confirmation already feeling the heat from their votes. New York Magazine urging red state Democrats they can do better than Joe Manchin, as CNN claims Heidi Heitkamp may lose her seat after the Kavanaugh vote. And according to Newsmax, Kavanaugh boosts Republican effort to unseat Missouri's Claire McCaskill. And even for Republican senators feeling the heat. Talking Points memo claiming Alaska Republican Party weighs reprimanding Lisa Murkowski for opposing Judge Kavanaugh. Here to weigh in is the president of Real Clear Politics. Tom Bevan joins us from Chicago. Tom, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
Well, we knew there was going to be fallout for each and every vote somebody took, and now it looks like we're starting to talk about that a little more seriously.
Yeah, it's certainly the Kavanaugh fight has certainly thrown a wrench here into the political landscape and seems to be, by and large, really helping Republicans. I mean, if you look at some of these red states that have a lot more Republicans than Democrats, the base has been activated in those states, and we've seen that bear out in the numbers in North Dakota, for example, Heidi Heitkamp. We've seen it bear out in Tennessee. Marsha Blackburn, the last two polls that have been taken there, have her up, getting some separation from Phil Bredesen. And we're waiting to see how it will affect these other senators like Joe Donnelly in Indiana, John Tester in Montana, and you mentioned Claire McCaskill in Missouri. All three are in very, very tight races.
Sure. What do you think the president's messaging going forward is going to be regarding this, to keep people reminded of the Kavanaugh battle?
Unquestionably, I think Trump's going to mention it at all of his rallies, and Republicans are going to mention it. They're going to keep the pressure on Democrats on this issue through the election, because the question now is Republican intensity has risen to match that of the Democrats in a lot of these surveys, and the question is whether it's sustainable, whether it's sustained through over the next 4 weeks through Election Day, or whether it dissipates, because Kavanaugh did win. He's confirmed. He's on the court now, so we'll have to wait and see whether Republicans can maintain that intensity or not.
Sure. And that's important because, Tom, you go back 6 months and it looked like there was going to be a blue wave sweeping across America 1 month from today, but now not so much, right?
It certainly seems like, as I said, things have edged in the Republicans' direction over the past 7 to 10 days. We've seen the generic ballot number close. Democrats' lead went down from over 7 points to about 6.5 points now. I mentioned some of the Senate numbers we're seeing. We're also seeing some of the races shift in the House in favor of Republicans. The number of toss-up seats has gone down. The number of leaning Republican seats has gone up just over the last 7 days. So at least right now, it seems like it's benefiting Republicans.
Okay, and so ultimately, while it may benefit Republicans right now, Republicans are going to vote for Republicans and Democrats for Democrats. It's the independents, and who are they going to break for?
That is the big question, how this is going to affect independents. And right now, again, independents, particularly in midterms, very, very small slice of the electorate. We've got conflicting data on folks. They said, they weren't really in favor, have a favorable rating of Kavanaugh, but on the other hand, they thought he was treated unfairly. So we'll have to wait and see. But independents in some of these really close races could be very, very decisive.
Well, let's see what happens. All right, Tom Bevan joining us from Chicago. Tom, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. 8:20 now here in New York City. Meanwhile, the political left has been protesting Judge Kavanaugh for weeks. But now that he's officially a justice on the bench, isn't it time for them to move on? We're going to have a debate coming up next. Plus, Dr. Sebastian Gorka will join us live in the next couple of minutes here on Fox & Friends.
This program is sponsored by Safelite Autoglass. Have autoglass damage? Schedule service at safelite.com.
So you think this chip is nothing to worry about? Well, at Safelite, we know sooner or later, every chip will crack. These friends were on a trip when their windshield got chipped. So they scheduled at safelite.com. They didn't have to change their plans or worry about a thing. I'll see you in a little bit. And I fixed it right away with a strong repair they can trust. Plus, with most insurance, a Safelite repair is no cost to you. Really? Being there whenever you need us, that's another Safelite advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
I want to get a bar put in over there. Do you know any good contractors?
Yeah, I might.
Nice! Give me a bunch of quotes, check the reviews, and verify the credentials and qualifications.
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything HomeAdvisor can. So just ask HomeAdvisor.
Stop fearing your alarm clock with new ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with melatonin that supports your natural sleep cycle, so you can seize the morning. New ZzzQuil Pure Z's.
These people, they speak a language we cannot understand.
Deductible?
Definitely speaking insurance.
Additional interest on umbrella policy?
Can you translate?
Damage minimization of civil commotion.
When insurance needs translating, get answers in plain English at progressiveanswers.com.
He wants you to sign Karen's birthday card. It's a high honor.
I think it'll fit.
Want a performance car that actually fits your life? Introducing the new 2019 Ford Edge ST. Capability meets power in the first SUV from the Ford Performance team. The new 2019 Ford Edge ST.
What's a smile shop? Well, it's where smiles are made. Where a smile guide, just like this, walks you through your transformation to a smile you'll love. During your free 30-minute visit, we'll show you how invisible aligners work to gently and discreetly move your teeth from the comfort of your home. Then take a quick 3D scan of your smile. As our gift to you, we'll send you home with a free whitening kit to jumpstart your transformation. Next, we send you your smile plan for you to see what your future grin will look like. Then, we deliver all your invisible aligners directly to you for 60% less than braces. No braces, no monthly office visits, no paying a fortune. And most plans take an average of 6 months. And while 96% of people would recommend a smile shop visit, we'll let the straighter teeth speak for themselves. Here's something else to get you smiling. We're now in the neighborhood. Book your free visit at SmileDirectClub.com and get free whitening for a limited time.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm about to do my favorite thing in the world, walk and talk. Now it's time for your headlines, the food fight edition. Whole Foods is taking on the vegans. One store in Berkeley, California, filing a restraining order against an animal rights activist group who was planning on occupying Whole Foods protests at the store. You believe that? And it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Or is it? This video going viral showing a cart full of DiGiorno frozen pizza boxes at the counter of a Little Caesars restaurant, leaving some to wonder if the chain was actually serving DiGiorno. But the pizza chain tells People magazine the pies belong to Kmart that houses one of their restaurants. We'll continue to walk on that story, and I'll walk around as we go to the final story. Apple getting served a lot of criticism over the new bagel emoji. Some say it looks like something you'd find in a supermarket frozen food aisle. Take a look. And not a true bagel. They're absolutely right. We're going to examine this as Ainsley talks about that.
No, everyone send in your comments. Who does it better, Steve or Brian? Brian, I have to say that was a nice try, but Steve actually can walk and still talk and tell you the story.
I invented it. I invented this.
Well, the inventor should perfect it.
Get
nice
going.
Try. Nice try. All right, let's have a little debate here. Protesters in meltdown mode over the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh. Watch this.
Don't put a liar on the card. Don't put a liar on the card.
Senator McConnell, why will you speak to this man and not to these women who are talking to you about their surviving stories?
You're going to let people who do these things into power. That's what you're telling me.
Well, now that he's officially on the bench, would Democrats be wise just to move on? Here to debate this is RNC spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany and Fox News contributor Jessica Tarlov. I will start with you today, Kayleigh. Do you think Democrats need to move on and just accept what's happened?
Oh, there's simply no doubt the left's mob-like tactics are backfiring. You look at one of the latest polls, it showed 58% of independents disapprove of the way Democrats are acting with regard to Kavanaugh. And Ainsley, I can tell you this, it's not just moving independents our way, it is firing up Republicans. The Republican National Committee, we had our best day of online fundraising in the history of our party. Not just this year, not just this cycle, the history of our party on September 30th. And the first week of this month, our chairwoman noted, Chairwoman McDaniel, we're up 500% fundraising over where we were last month. So Republicans are fired up, they're giving money, and I can tell you this, they're going out to vote.
Jessica, what's the reason for that? And are you fearful as a Democrat that Republicans are uniting?
Oh, I think it definitely makes a difference. GOP enthusiasm is up 6 to 8 points, depending on the poll, because of Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation and what's gone on here. That's certainly a boost for them. Kayleigh cites a poll that shows that independents disapprove of how Democrats handled this, but they also disapprove of how Republicans have handled it. A little bit less than Democrats, but that's still there. There are more numbers that matter in that poll. 51% oppose Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation, and 52% versus 38% believe the women versus believe Brett Kavanaugh. The president last night turned a confirmation for a Supreme Court justice into a political rally. He uses terms like hoax. I don't think that's particularly sensitive. And in terms of fundraising, Kamala Harris raised, I think, $400,000 for Heidi Heitkamp in one day alone because of her opposition to Brett Kavanaugh. So money is flowing in also to Democrats. Kayleigh and Ronna McDaniel work hard for their dollars, and props to them for that. We have a steep climb, as it were, but I think that Democrats have every reason to talk about the fact that this was not a hoax, obviously, and that we need to take women's claims of sexual assault very seriously and to continue to oppose this, but to talk about health care more.
All right, so Kayleigh, both of you agree that enthusiasm is there when it comes to the Republican Party because of Kavanaugh.
Democrats, too. We're still up 2 points.
Okay, do you think that that's going to carry, the enthusiasm on the Republican side is going to carry into the midterms? Or do you think that more Democrats are going to rally and go to the polls because of this?
Oh, for sure. This will carry Republicans through the midterms. And not just that, we're seeing independents being swayed. Our internal numbers, which are voter scores, they're not public polling, far more accurate than public polling. In fact, Chairwoman McDaniel was able to predict Michigan within a few votes, within a few thousand votes back in 2016. Our internal numbers show all of these Senate races, every single one, moving in the direction of Republicans. Because what happens is you have fair-minded individuals on the left and the right and in the middle look at those mob-like tactics that you played at the beginning, and they reject that. They reject the fact that some of these individuals are trying to find the medical records of children in Congress and publicly release them.
It's gone
they
too
reject
far.
Calling Susan Collins a rape sympathizer simply because she had a well-reasoned articulation of why she was going to go for Kavanaugh.
Jessica, all those things that Kayleigh's just listing, and the fact that Kavanaugh was confirmed, and many Republicans are mad at the way he was treated and his family was treated throughout all of this. Is it going to backfire? Is what we saw these senators do by not releasing the information, not releasing the letter until right before the confirmation process, is that going to backfire on the Democrats?
I don't know if it backfires in terms of the fact that the blue wave won't happen, or at least taking the majority back in the House. That's still at about 75% odds. We'll have to see how this shakes out over the next week. But there are a lot of things that you can say about how the GOP mishandled this. As I just said, 52% believe the women versus 38% who believe Brett Kavanaugh. So the Republicans can run out there and they can use their usual language of this is a hoax, and the president can use this to whip up the base. But that doesn't necessarily mean that come November 6th that people are going to be sitting there and feel like, oh, Brett Kavanaugh, Associate Justice on the Supreme Court, is such an aggrieved party here. They might be thinking about Dr. Ford, who can't go back to her home. Or they might be thinking about the millions of women across this country every year that are sexually assaulted and don't feel strong enough to report it, or that they will be heard and listened to.
Okay. Kayleigh, Jessica, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks so much, Ainsley.
Thank you. Have a great day, ladies. Well, it is not just protesters. The media also melting down over Justice Kavanaugh's confirmation.
We're going to see if this reign lasts for 30 days, or 2 years, or a 1,000-year Reich.
Wow. Dr. Sebastian Gorka's family fled actual fascists, and he is here to react to that, coming up next. Plus, we showed you this hilarious video. That police officer busting a move for kids outside of their school. That dancing officer is going to join us live. We love him.
So a tree falls in your brand new car and totals it. And as if that wasn't bad enough, now your insurance won't replace it outright because of depreciation. If your insurance won't replace your car, what good is it? You'd be better off just taking your money and throwing it right into the harbor. I regret that.
With new car replacement, if your brand new car gets totaled, Liberty Mutual will pay the entire value plus depreciation. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Yes, honey, the local game store wants to sponsor you.
I want to sponsor you.
Yes,
honey, Travis Scott wants you to get these squad wins tonight.
Let's get these squad wins tonight. Yes, sir.
Honey, Ninja is calling you up to the national team.
You ready?
Honey, you ready?
Double your trade-in value. Get up to $600 back when you upgrade to Galaxy.
There's a place where luxury mattresses and affordable prices live in perfect harmony. A place where people inform and guide instead of push and pressure. And that place is this website. It's pronounced Satva, in case you were wondering.
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Power Max Gels. Concentrated power, 25% smaller pill. Max your cold relief with Alka-Seltzer Plus.
My NP spends a lot of time with me and gives me a lot of attention, which led to my diagnosis. She initiated tests and found out what was wrong. She's treated both my children since they were born.
I feel like my NP cares about me as a person and not just if I'm sick or not.
And I really love my nurse practitioner because we have such a strong connection. I know that whenever I call, she'll be there for me. My name is Molly, and we choose NPs.
Consider an NP. When patients choose, patients win.
If you have a pile of junk you need hauled off, but don't have the time, the energy, or the vehicle to move it, then you need to try Tackle. With Tackle, you choose the chore you want tackled, select the background check provider, and pick the day and time you want it done. And then your junk problem gets solved. So start enjoying more of your life by going to Tackle.com or by downloading the free Tackle app today. Because free time is me time.
Continuously evolving with the needs of the user. Accessible through the cloud to new markets all over the world.
The business model is completely different.
Yes, it is.
This totally changes the way we recognize revenue.
And where? Think about all those tax jurisdictions.
How are we going to handle all this?
We aren't.
People who know BDO.
There's a song I hummed for 10 years.
I love that song, yes.
I was hoping to get it out of my head. Now it's back.
That takes us back.
Well, we didn't build this city, but we built this studio, and right now we're up here on the mezzanine level, and the doctor is making a couch call. It's Dr. Sebastian Gorka, Fox News analyst, and he's got a brand new book. It's called Why We Fight, Defeating America's Enemies with No Apologies. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but first, Dr. Gorka, let's talk a little bit about the Kavanaugh confirmation and the ceremonial swearing in last night. What did you make of the tone of the president and Mr. Kavanaugh?
I'm just very grateful that the president did what had to be done. A good man, a godly man was attacked, was impugned, and the president stood up there and he declared him innocent. So it was the right thing to do.
Is it worth the fight? Because we're seeing how Republicans are now being treated. You can't go to a restaurant anymore. They're putting out your personal information, your addresses, sending...
Doxing.
Yeah, sending videos.
It's absolutely worth it. If 1776 was worth it, then this is worth it. In my book, Why We Fight, I talk about the fact this isn't the first time they've done it. People are shocked at what the Democrats did, the dirty tricks, the lies. Well, guess what? They've been doing it for decades. There's a man called Whittaker Chambers. In 1948, the first televised congressional testimony stood up to tell the truth about Soviet penetration of the U.S. government. What did the left do? They accused him of having an affair, of being a homosexual, of being responsible for his brother's death. All of it lies. That's 1948. That's years before Justice Kavanaugh was even born. So this is a pattern, and we've always got to resist the lies.
Here is Elie Mystal last night. Let's listen.
The thing about making a deal with the devil is that the devil backs up his bargain, all right? The devil does not welch. Trump has delivered for these people on the things that they care about most. He has delivered racism for these people. He has delivered misogyny for these people. And now he's delivered the Supreme Court for these people, which is something that they've been trying to get for a generation. We're going to see if this reign that they now have control over all three branches of government, we're going to see if this reign lasts for 30 days or 2 years or 1,000-year Reich.
Is that the view you have on this administration?
I don't know who this person is. we're used to the crazies, but that's an insult. That's an insult to people like my parents who lived under Nazi occupation. My parents were children when the Nazis took over Hungary. You know what that's an insult to? That's an insult to the 10 million plus Americans who were GIs, who fought fascism, many of whom died. It's unconscionable.
A fascist country wouldn't let him say that.
Yeah, right. If Donald Trump were the great dictator that they paint him to be, this person would be locked up.
Yeah, it would
it's
be
fantasy.
90% for him instead of 90%
against him. Exactly right, Brian.
How dangerous is that kind of rhetoric?
Well, look, there is only one party that has normalized violence in America in the last 2 years, and it's not the Republicans. Let's remember, James Hodgkinson did not wear a MAGA hat when he went to that baseball field in Arlington. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter, went there with an automatic rifle and a pistol with a hit list of what? Republican congressmen, and he almost killed one of them, Steve Scalise. You look at the violence of Antifa, they go prepared for battle to those demonstrations. The right doesn't do that. You're normalizing something that is un-American.
Let's talk a little bit about your book, Why We Fight Defeating America's Enemies with No Apologies. You start with Sun Tzu.
I do. Yeah, look, there's two great masters of strategy, Sun Tzu from China almost 3,000 years ago, and then Clausewitz, who wrote The Art, Sun Tzu was The Art of War, Clausewitz wrote On War. If you know those two people, you can defeat any enemy, and the president has an instinct for this stuff. So Sun Tzu used this power, the strength of your enemy against them. Nothing's changed in warfare or politics for thousands of years.
You're saying Donald Trump understands the
enemy. Oh, yes, he understands the Look at what he's done. He makes a statement, people go crazy, especially on the left, and what happens? A few weeks later, a few months later, it turns out to be what? True. They wiretapped my campaign. Everybody said, no, look, what are you talking about, wiretap your campaign? We find out. FISA warrant illegally issued with the exculpatory information kept from the docket, and now we have the whole house of cards collapsing. So I have rarely met a man who is as instinctually strategic as Donald Trump, and that's why ISIS... Who talks about ISIS? Who's talking about war on the Korean Peninsula? Who's talking about Russia invading its neighbors? Nobody since Donald Trump became commander-in-chief.
Right now in the crosshairs, China.
China's the number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my book, I talk about all the threats. I talk about jihadis. I talk about China. I talk about Russia. There's only one strategic one, and it is Beijing, because they want to replace America, and they have a plan, but Donald Trump knows it.
All right. Sebastian,
thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Gorka. Congratulations on the book.
Why we fight. And why do we toss to Jillian?
Because we have to.
Because the producers tell you to.
Thank you.
Good morning. Okay, so how about this? You guys reported a little bit ago, Kanye West is headed to the White House. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders just confirming he'll have lunch with the president and discuss things like prison reform and gang violence with advisor Jared Kushner. Sanders didn't say exactly when that will happen. As the president prepares to dine with Kanye, he's taking a dig at the rapper's rival Taylor Swift after she criticized Republican Marsha Blackburn's voting record.
Marsha Blackburn is doing a very good job in Tennessee. She's leading now substantially, which she should. She's a tremendous woman. Let's say that I like Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay?
In an Instagram post, Swift says she's voting for Democrats. Disgraced former Congressman Anthony Weiner could be released from prison 3 months early. The New York Democrat is locked up in Massachusetts after sending inappropriate text messages to a 15-year-old girl. He was sentenced to 21 months behind bars, but thanks to good behavior, he could get out in May. Google Plus is shutting down after 500,000 users may have had their information exposed. The tech giant says a bug could have given over 400 outside developers access to private profile data over 3 years. The company found and fixed the software glitch in May, but Google chose not to disclose the breach for months, fearing backlash and government regulations. These parents thought it would be fun to wake up their 3-year-old with a song on his birthday. They thought wrong.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Walt.
All right, Walter's not a morning person. Not everyone is. The toddler trying to kick his family out when they brought him breakfast in bed.
I'll tell you why, because look at the bed. It has hearts on it. He's sleeping in his sister's old bed.
And the walls look purple.
Exactly.
That's just the monitor.
He's mad at his parents. It's funny.
He will want that breakfast in bed someday.
Yes, exactly. Happy birthday, Walter.
By the way, breakfast in bed makes no sense.
Yeah, you're
Who
right.
wants to eat
You're
in
right.
bed?
It's great.
You get
You're right.
crumbs all over the place.
You don't have to get out of the bed.
What is
No,
your
I'm
lap
with you,
gonna hold
Brian.
the whole tray?
That is such a Brian line, if y'all know him. Like, Brian hates it when people chew gum. He doesn't like.
No, but I hate it. I don't like breakfast in bed either.
Thank you,
It's a mess.
Jillian. Don't even try
Crumbs.
You don't like to sleep on crumbs? What's wrong with you?
It's a nice
Really?
gesture. All right. Thank you very much.
We'll
Jillian.
continue
Then
this.
it brings in the bugs.
Thanks for stirring things up, Jillian.
Talk about stirring things up. Hurricane Matthew now a Category 2 storm as it races towards Florida. Governor Rick Scott wrapping up a news conference moments ago. We are live on the ground, and Janice is tracking the storm. That'll be next.
Experts say to eat a lot of fruits and veggies, but are you getting enough of their nutrients? New One A Day with Nature's Medley is the only complete multivitamin with antioxidants from one total serving of fruits and veggies. New from One A Day.
Every time I smiled, I had to cover my mouth because I was so ashamed. When the denture slipped, I would have to excuse myself and go to the restroom virtually in tears. It kept me from being able to speak properly. I could not eat corn, apples, baby back ribs. I did not want dentures to be part of my life. I pretty much decided dental implants were the route I was going to take.
Let's do a head-to-head comparison of dental implants versus dentures. With dentures, the ability to taste food, to bite and chew is altered. The worst thing about dentures, bone loss. When you put an implant inside the bone, which is like the root of a tooth, now you preserve the bone. It's a game changer. With implants, you walk into a restaurant, you order anything you want. You eat just like you have real teeth.
Before you knew it, here I was with my brand new teeth.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
I can smile, my confidence is back.
Call Clear Choice today.
When my hot water heater failed, she was pregnant, in-laws were coming, a little bit of water, it rocked our world.
I had no idea the amount of damage that water could do.
We called USAA, and they greeted me as they always do. Sergeant Baker, how are you? They were on it. It was unbelievable. Having insurance is something everyone needs, but having USAA, that's a privilege. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today.
Bill O'Reilly here. My new book in the Killing series is Killing the SS, the hunt for the worst war criminals on Earth. It's about Nazi evil and those who enabled it. The book will stun you as Nazi hunters risk their lives to track down mass killers like Adolf Eichmann, who were protected by ruthless forces. There is a reason why the Killing books have sold more than 12 million copies. So I hope you check out Killing the SS. It's well worth your time.
What if your pharmacy didn't act like a pharmacy? What if you never had to sort your pills? And taking your medication was this easy? What if everything was delivered to you, so you never had to waste time standing in line? PillPack is a new kind of pharmacy. We'll sort your medication and deliver it directly to your door. It's your medication made easy. Learn more at pillpack.com.
Smart news.
I was only watching news I agreed with.
I was only getting news from social media.
Now, I use Smart News.
It has news from all sides.
I trust Smart News.
Download Smart News for free today.
Hurricane Michael is a monstrous storm, and the forecast keeps getting more dangerous, and we're now just 12 hours away from seeing impacts. The time to prepare is now.
Hurricane Michael, now a Category 2 hurricane. Its winds 100 miles per hour.
The storm pounding Cuba overnight.
Kelly Cohen is from our Fox affiliate in Tampa, live as parts of Florida evacuate. Kelly?
Exactly, and parts of Florida are also closing down schools because of this. Now, the Bay Area and Tampa Bay, we're not really going to see the full effects of this hurricane hitting the panhandle, or at least projected to, but we will have the storm surge here, and that's what we typically feel here every time something does hit that Big Bend area, that panhandle area. So this is one of many schools in Citrus County that is out today. School is out for kids who are sent home today, as well as tomorrow, as everyone here prepares for the storm, and we're actually in one of the pet-friendly shelters right now. Last year during Hurricane Irma, more than 600 pets had to be housed in this location, and they found room for everyone here. We're talking about a figurative Noah's Ark situation that was going on here. Workers were telling me not just dogs and cats, people even bringing chameleons and pet skunks. Oftentimes what we hear from people evacuating from storms, or at least told to evacuate, is that they won't do it because of their pets, but this is proof that there's no excuse here. Now, we do see plenty of people taking to the roadways up north in the Panhandle area around Panama City. Roads are clogged. The good news there is they don't have the populations that we had evacuating last year during Irma, so we're really not seeing the huge backups that we had last year. So that is the great news. It seems like everybody is heeding the governor's warning in this storm and taking his advice and going ahead and making their evacuation plans now.
Gets it. They always have got it, and even the skunks are going to be safe this time.
I know.
Kelly
Who
Cowan.
has a pet skunk? All right, let's hand it over to Janice Dean. Thanks, Kelly. Let's hand it over to Janice Dean. She's been tracking it all for us. Janice?
And yes, this area of the Panhandle has not seen a hurricane of this strength in over 10 years, since 2005. So people are urged to take these warnings very seriously. The storm is strengthening. There's really nothing in its way. It's going to crash into the Florida Panhandle tomorrow. The exact timing on this still yet to be determined, sometime in the midday to the afternoon, but the effects felt well inland across portions of Georgia and the Carolinas. So Category 2 storm, it is strengthening. The water is very warm, abnormally warm in the Gulf of Mexico, and there's no upper level shear to really tear this storm apart. So it's going to be a strengthening storm as it makes landfall. The right side of this storm is where we're going to see the worst of the storm surge, upwards of 12 feet of water inland. So that's going to be a big problem. Upwards of perhaps a foot of rainfall, as well as those hurricane force winds stretching well inland. Tropical storm watches well into Georgia and the Carolinas. And by the way, the Carolinas are going to feel the impact of this storm as well. They are still recovering from Florence.
They are indeed. All right, JD, thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, meanwhile, still ahead, we showed you this hilarious video. A police officer busting a move for kids outside their school. That dancing officer will join us live next.
But first, let's check in with Sandra Smith to find out what's coming up at the top of the hour. Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Ainsley. Good Tuesday morning to all of you. Tracking Hurricane Michael, of course, the latest in what could be the worst storm to hit the Florida Panhandle in a decade. We will have the latest on that. Plus, President Trump heading to Iowa today after last night's ceremonial swearing in of now Justice Brett Kavanaugh. How will this brutal confirmation battle play out in the midterm elections? We are now just 4 weeks away. A big show coming up for you. Senators Cory Gardner, John Thune, the senator, will be our headliner. Our A-team is on deck. Please join us. America's Newsroom begins in 10 minutes.
In the steel industry, we dedicate our careers to supporting this country, making products to build infrastructure and skylines, creating jobs, supporting families. And when domestic materials are used, the money stays in our communities. That's what really matters. These people, these places, that's worth supporting.
We use Angie's List because we can always find great local pros.
For any type of home project.
I use Angie's List if I need to find a plumber.
An electrician.
A painter.
I always use Angie's List because it's free.
It's free for me to read reviews written by real customers.
We can check their reputation to make sure they do quality work.
And now, to save time, Angie's List can actually match my project to a few qualified pros who can do the job.
To get the most reviews from real customers, all for free, go to angieslist.com today.
Energized by ethanol. Could ending the fuel ban pump up farmers and the GOP? Brett breaks down Trump's plans tonight on Special Report.
Looking back, you've seen some amazing things. And looking forward, there's so much more to come. That's why VSP offers individual vision plans, coverage you can buy on your own, because retirement shouldn't be the end of vision care, but a new beginning. VSP gives you affordable access to trusted eye doctors in your area and gives you the lowest out-of-pocket costs on necessities that traditional Medicare doesn't cover, like glasses, contacts, and specialty prescription lenses. This makes regular eye exams more affordable, trusted eye doctors more accessible, and ensures that prescriptions, like Progressive's, are done right. the first time. For lifelong access to eyewear and eye care, put your trust in the same quality coverage employers offer. And learn more at vspdirect.com or call 888-8-BY-VSP to see better for life for less.
Thank you, VSP.
Promote what makes your business great with Vistaprint. Whether it's a business card, a banner, or a postcard, we have the paper stocks, sizes, and design options to create marketing that's right for your business. Give it a try with 500 standard business cards starting at just $9.99 when you use code VP500 at Vistaprint.com.
This is an invitation to dive into a world bursting with life. Are you ready to become a part of this Atlantis, Bahamas at heart?
Book a getaway from your everyday by October 15th at 1-800-ATLANTIS or AtlantisBahamas.com.
Something's not right. This year is a changing of the guard.
Life Below Zero. New episode tonight at 9 on National Geographic.
That moment went viral. Officer Chris Schilling busting a move, as you can see, outside of Louisiana school. His fellow officers mixing police sirens and horns to give him the beat.
You can only do that by practice, practice, practice. Officer Schilling joins us right now. You're a better dancer than almost anybody I know. First off, officer, could you set the scene? How did you get to that point where that was the thing to do?
Well, you know, we was over there doing a K9 demonstration, and actually the gentleman on the bike is Corporal Bobby Carter. He works for the Tangipahoa Sheriff's Office, and Bobby's been doing that for years. You know, every time we have a Christmas parade or a Mardi Gras parade, he's always playing that beat.
Yeah.
And just so happened one of the kids, he was playing the beat, and one of the kids was dancing. I asked the kid, I said, "Oh, you challenging me to a dance-off?" And then it was kind of Bobby Carter hit that beat, and that's where it went.
We love that. That's great. Have you ever done this in public before?
Yes, a lot of times. Everybody that knows me, you know, knows that I love to dance. That's just one thing I like to do. And then, you know, when kids are involved, it makes it even that much more, you know, important to me.
Sure.
That is so great. I mean, a lot of us can do this after, you know, a few cocktails at a wedding, but not while we're working. Not while we're working. I'm really proud of you. I think it's so great to see police officers out there having fun with the kids. What was the reaction from the children?
Oh, they all loved it. They all clapped and cheered. I kind of wish they would have got the little guy on
me
video.
Too.
You can see him a little bit in the corner.
Uh-huh.
The little guy that gives me the high five. He's the little kid that I was dancing with. But yeah, they loved it.
Sure.
You know, they all cheered after it was over with.
Hey, Chris, how valuable are things like this in the community to helping you do a job on a daily basis?
Well, you know, when I was a kid coming up, it's what got me wanting to do this profession. You know, I went to a K9 demo as a little kid, and you know, I seen this cop showing off his dog's, you know, skills, and I said, you know, that's what I want to do. You know, I want to be a K9 officer when I grow up. And so I got into law enforcement, you know, 13 years ago, and worked hard to get where I wanted to be, and now I'm in K9, and now I want to pass that on to other kids. That's you know, and let them know, you know, that we're not all bad. You know, we're out here to help you. We're not out here to hurt you.
Right. When you do the K9 thing, you have a secret button. They don't know that. You say, "My dog's the smartest dog in the world." You push the button, the door pops open, the dog jumps out. Officer, before we leave, though, I think somewhere in that studio or in that room, somebody's got the beat. How about taking it away?
Yes.
You said you loved to dance.
Well, before we leave, I just want to tell y'all I appreciate y'all having me on.
Oh, you bet.
I thank y'all, and you know, my mother loves to watch y'all show, and if I didn't say that, she would be upset because I'm sure she's watching right now.
What's her name?
Her name's Kathy. She loves y'all's
Kathy.
show.
She's watching. So here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the dancing officer, Chris Schilling.
There you go.
Yep.
That one's for you, Kathy.
Excellent.
This flu season, protect yourself. And your sister-in-laws. Tennis partners. Chatty co-workers. Youngest daughters. Entire judo class. One shot can make a world of difference. Walgreens specially trained pharmacists know exactly which flu shot is right for you. Protecting the world, over 60 million flu shots and counting, starts with protecting yours today. Walgreens. Trusted since 1901.
I love you, Dad.
What?
I love you.
What?
I found myself saying that all the time. And when I realized it, I just stopped saying it. And my life changed. I stayed home, mostly alone. I missed out on everything. I felt like that I had stopped living. It was awful. And I knew I needed hearing aids, but the cost was ridiculous. A state-of-the-art TV only costs about $600 or $700, but a tiny hearing aid costs $3,000, $5,000, whatever they can get. It's just ridiculous. Well, not anymore. Thanks to Hearing Assist, I can hear clearly again, and my life is so much better. I got a pair of rechargeable state-of-the-art digital hearing aids for about 10 times less than my doctor wanted to charge. And they're FDA cleared. I really love my hearing aids. You can't see them, and I never have to change the batteries because they're rechargeable. And look how easy it is for me to charge them. It's magnetic. Hearing Assist even let me try my hearing aids for 60 days so I could see if I liked them.
I love you, Dad.
What?
I said I love you.
I heard you the first time. I just wanted to hear it again. If you need hearing aids, even if you already have them and want a backup, or if you're tired of changing batteries, Hearing Assist will change your life.
And right now, you can buy 2 Recharge hearing aids and have 60 days to try them. Call 800-501-1000 or visit hearingassist.com to order now for yourself or to give the gift of hearing to someone you love. That's 800-501-1000.
Only Invisalign clear aligners are made with Smart Track material to precisely move your teeth to your best smile. See how Invisalign treatment can shape your smile up to 50% faster today at Invisalign.com.
More than ever, we need Fox Nation from the brand you trust.
Exclusive content,
Access.
and experiences.
Some of us you know well, and some of us you're going to get to know better.
Find out more
at FoxNation.com.
Fox Nation, opinion done right.
Hey, coming up in a couple of weeks, on the 19th, actually next week, 19th, 20th, and 21st, I'll be in Tampa, Norfolk, and Nashville, talking about all 3 of my books, taking your questions in theaters in those cities. Go to